Hello, hello. Welcome to this Saturday Live. For a minute, I forgot it was even Saturday, so I almost missed you guys. But I'm going to head out into the great outdoors. It's a beautiful day over here. There's some sunshine, so I want to get out and enjoy that beautiful sunshine. So I'm just going to switch this up a little bit here. All right, so today we're going to dive into the energies. I just asked Spirit to let us know what kind of guidance do we need, motivation, insights, inspiration for this week. And the layout is past, present, future, but my intention with was just what do we really need to know? And so an overall perspective. So I might read it timeless or I might put in past, present, future. We'll just see what the energies dictate here. And then I'm using all of my own card decks. So I'm using the Galactic Goth Oracle, Shadow Fantasy Oracle, and the Fantasy Oracle, as well as the Kindred Spirit Love Oracle and the Soul Indicators. So yeah, I'm just going to go full on my creations today, or channeled co-creations with Spirit. And I also picked a few stones out for today as we are moving. So Mars is going direct. We're also in new moon territory with Scorpio energies. So the underbelly, the underneath, and it's also a water sign as well. So we've got the emotional aspects, but the hidden emotional realm. So a few stones to start with. We've got serpentine, citrine, sunstone, carnelian, bloodstone, and red jasper. So any of those stones will be helpful for you in particular for this week, but also for this month. So if you're catching the replay, hi Kathy, those are some stones that will help align your energies to the current energies and landscape that's happening now. So I don't always pull stones, but here we go. Let's see. What do we have first? We have open-hearted. So Spirit really asking us to open our hearts after everything we've been through, after all the lessons, after all the learning. Spirit is really encouraging us to open our hearts to the new, to what's ahead of us, and to what we can be thankful for in our present moment. So with this open-hearted energy, moving forward with a little bit of wonder, with a little bit of innocence and purity, no matter what we've been through, because many of us have been through quite a lot, right? So that was from the Galactic Goth Oracle. And let's see what we have for clarification. We have weighing options. So weighing options with an open heart here. And it's interesting that both of these have red energies in them. So really thinking about security, stability, really thinking about what's home for us. Do we want to start families? Do we want to buy a house? Do we want to move forward on a new job, new location? What are our goals? What are our visions? We're really weighing options here. Do we want to be alone? Do we want to be in partnership? What are our priorities? And so instead of working from the mind and only thinking with the mind, what do I want, cost benefit analysis, Spirit is really reminding us, come from the heart here, open your heart and use your heart to make these decisions and weigh these options. And finally, to clarify from the Fantasy Oracle, we have inner vision. So really Spirit has said, they're saying to me, we've given you more than enough advance notice with regards to this section of your life, this section of the path. You have to use your heart energies and you have to use your intuition in order to move forward with the greatest amount of ease, with the greatest amount of empowerment, and standing in your truth and your own personal power as much as possible. So really diving deep within yourself, opening that heart, even if it is hammered shut and it has chains across it. Spirit is really, pressing here that to move forward towards your vision, the one that you called in, the one that you've been working towards, you have to open your heart. And you have to use your inner vision in order to help you gain that access, gain that key to remove blocks, to dismantle the patterns and keep going forward, keep moving forward, no matter what is happening in your present, having faith and trust in yourself and this higher vision as well, the vision that Spirit has for you too, because, this is a time of unseeing. And so these options you're weighing as well, that's why it's really important to use your heart and your intuition, because you can't see, you don't really have all the information in terms of making the best analytical decision. So, it's the perfect opportunity for you to use your heart and your mind and your intuition. So let's see what else we have here. Embrace the shadow self. So, this is perfect with Scorpio medicine, because Scorpio is really like the excavator of diving deep and really getting into those emotions that, cause conflict, or that we try to repress as well. And then getting to the root of why we do that in the first place. So embracing the shadow self, really important as we continue to open the heart. So having an open heart, using your intuition and embracing the shadow self will help you move through patterns that have been holding you back, and like self-sabotaging patterns as well. So anything that's coming up for you right now with this new moon, Mars going direct, or has been causing some friction within the past couple months with Mars in retrograde, it's highlighting to you what your shadows, how important your shadows are in terms of how they can hinder your progress. And that can be consciously or subconsciously. So as we are moving into this new moon, new manifestations, new energies in Scorpio, it'll be really interesting to see how our relationships fare, how our communication is, in terms of really getting to the heart of the matter and diving deep no matter what the expected outcome is. So having the courage and the bravery to move forward with truth no matter what the outcome is, right? So really, really important here to take all of yourself in acceptance. That includes the good, the bad, and the ugly. And from the shadow fantasy, divine transformation, we really are continuously evolving throughout our whole entire life. But Spirit is saying this point in time in particular is a really potent transformational portal and phase where you have so much energy coming in, you have so much energy leaving, you have friends leaving, you have family members changing in terms of their closeness, their proximity to your frequency, where they're headed, where you're headed. And also we've got starseed energy, we have angelic energy and ancestral energy. You might feel like you're pulled in a few different directions, or you might feel like you're totally stagnant. But even if you feel like you're totally stagnant, you're going to at least have to admit that you can feel inner changes happening. And so even if there's no outward appearance of change, you can feel this transformation within you, even if it's just on the emotional realm. And, really being encouraged to let go of that mind, that monkey mind, that analytical thinking where you procrastinate or you run an idea into the ground before it even has a chance to blossom and grow. So this is a really interesting one coming from Spirit here. Embracing the shadow self is all about this divine transformation. So this darkness, this dark night of the soul / dark night of 10 years or months, whatever it has been for you, this is all about you cultivating your darkness, embracing your shadow, really getting to know yourself better. Because if you aren't aware of your deeper rooted patterns from childhood or traumas in your relationships with friends, if you feel safe, what makes you feel unsafe? What is your, trying to think of it, attachment cycle? How do you really relate to yourself and others? And it has a lot to do with how you perceive the world. So, in clarifying that, time to dream, we had this last week, I believe. So, Spirit is still saying you guys aren't picking up the clue. You're not having enough fun. And I know we can all groan and, give the side eye here. And it's true, we can give the side eye. We are embodied here. It is challenging. It is difficult. We are, each of us in our own different trials and tribulations. You might be in an amazing position right now, and you might be feeling like you're in the worst position of your life. So either way, Spirit is saying it's time to dream. Like, we must bring back that fun, that lighthearted energy. It's really going to allow it to move the gears. And so maybe if you look at it like oil in a machine or in a gear, if you look at a time clock or whatnot, it's time to oil the gears. We have to allow for smooth operation. And in order to allow for smooth operation, we need to invigorate ourselves in some way. And, this might be a huge creative process if you're really struggling right now, but we have to. It's very important that we bring in this time to dream. We have to uplift ourselves if no one else is doing it for us. If you don't have that friend, that family member, that partner who you're lucky enough to have in your life, who's a supporter, an encourager, of your dreams and your abilities and your skills, you're going to have to be that person for yourself. So really coming through for yourself and believing in yourself. That's another theme that came up this week in the collective is when we seek approval or we need recognition. Yes, it's fantastic. It's great. If you write a book and you get on the New York Times bestseller, heck yeah, that's recognition. But if you write a book and it doesn't hit the charts and you didn't have the backing maybe that someone else did, and say 10 years down the road, it picks up steam and you're recognized, or maybe you're not even recognized. The fact that you wrote the book, the fact that you shared, you were of service and you brought that to life, you manifested that in and of itself is an achievement. And you have to recognize yourself for that, even if no one else does. So really, an energy that's in the collective right now is recognition, being recognized and being valued for your inherent preciousness. So time to dream, you guys. Get out the vision board, get out your doodling, paints or whatnot, or if you're an illustrator, start to build something that is in alignment with your dreams. What do you see for yourself? What can you see yourself creating? Get back into that. I'm being shown an image here of kind of like a warrior energy. Like if the energy is of the dark, of depression, of anxiety, of addiction, of loneliness, of isolation, miscommunication, if all of that is so heavy and so powerful, you do have to put up a fight. You do have to stand your ground for you to say, no, I do not want to be in this energy anymore. And here's what I can do to change it. Here's what I can do to influence it. And I will not go down without a fucking fight, right? So Spirit is giving us these gentle nudges, but at the same time, there's this undercurrent of, come on now, you have the power, use it, let's go. So, and I'm talking to myself too. I'll have to probably read this one or watch this one on the replay, but Spirit is being very firm, like gentle, firm. So, yes, the courageous heart. This is from my Galactic Goth oracle. I love this card in particular. This is all about courage. It's all about bravery. It's not easy to move forward when you can't see the path ahead. It is not easy to move forward in love when you have had your heart shattered into smithereens. It is not easy to trust again if you've been betrayed or cheated on. It isn't easy to move forward with a new job if you feel like you are tired or exhausted and you don't know what you want. It's hard when you're in a place of indecision or uncertainty to move forward. Spirit is really encouraging us to remain courageous. Think about how powerful your heart is and the energy of that chakra in particular. If the only thing you can do is focus on your heart chakra energy, then that's where you can start. And that energy will filter up and down as much as it can in your energy system. So if you are on, low gas and running on fumes, focus on your heart energy. We had the open-hearted card come up as the first card as well. So Spirit is really, really sending us this signal that And I just watched a little video of a beaver on Facebook this morning, and they're showing me that and saying, yeah, okay, it can be really natural to build a dam over your heart and protect it. But Spirit is going, no, please, please, please open your heart, because there's so much amazing, beautiful energy that you can receive, and you can also share. And this is going to help with collaborations. This is going to help drawing your network and your web within from your heart space, rather than drawing things in from a fear-based space. And I had a good conversation with someone about the law of attraction, and I certainly believe that there are a lot more layers and complexities to it, rather than just, oh, if you're in a bad mood, you're going to attract bad things to you, right? That's fucking bullshit. I'm sorry, but it's really feeds into a victim consciousness. If you're already feeling depressed and anxious, no one needs to hear that you brought it on yourself. No, okay, but you do have empowerment and encouragement here from Spirit to open that heart up, because it's going to help you bring in positive energies, if only from looking at life connections from an open-hearted perspective. Because if you're looking at life like you can't trust anybody, if you're looking at life like love doesn't exist, then that is what you're going to see, no matter whether or not it's there or not. You can have someone in relationship where someone's giving a lot of love, support, affection, and if that partner believes that love doesn't exist, believes that men or women are deceitful, whether or not that person is or not, they're going to see that, because that is the lens that they are looking at life through. So have the courage to change your lens. Have the courage to believe again in something different, a new chapter, a new result coming through for you. And inner child healing. So yes, we have that divine transformation, time to dream, getting some of that positive freedom energy back, when the burdens of adulthood or motherhood or sisterhood, whatever it is for you, brotherhood, when it gets too heavy, we can feel very robotic in this lifetime. And so this inner child healing is asking you to look deeply within yourself over this Scorpio new moon, because there are elements of your inner child that deserve healing. When you are not seen, when you are not recognized, when you are not appreciated and loved in the way that you deserved as a child, you have now brought this into your adult life. And that is part of the way you see the world. And so what's happening here is there is an opportunity for the deconstruction of a certain pattern in your life of not being seen, not being recognized. And that is in direct correlation, direct synergy with this inner child healing. So it's very important that you allow yourself to be gentle with yourself and other people's inner children at this time. Yes, boundaries are very important, as they always are, but you also have this importance of your heart healing and your inner child healing are connected. Ooh, yes, exactly what I was just talking about. End of cycle. All right, so we are definitely ending a cycle. And it could be fear of rejection, it could be mistrust issues, it could be fear and doubt ravaging your mind, sabotaging you at every step, tripping and trapping you because you don't believe in the good things that are right in front of you. Also settling for less than you deserve, but basically this huge cycle of not being recognized and or not feeling worthy of this next step on your path, whether that's a person, place, thing, job. If you don't feel worthy for that advancement, that relationship, that home, then you're not going to be putting the energy and the motivation into it as, in the same way you would as if you believed, okay, I fully 100% am embodying this self-worth, this self-value. And it can get a bit convoluted when we talk about self-worth and value. But what Spirit is saying is there's an underlying cycle that you have likely been experiencing lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And this is also to do with you being a black sheep, psychedelic sheep, somewhat of an outsider, a weirdo, knowing things that other people don't. This could be psychic intuition. You could definitely feel like you have connections to galactic energies, you know, Sirius, Orion, Andromeda, Arcturian, all of these energies, Vega, as well as, you know, the witchcraft era, healers, midwives, anyone who's persecuted in past lives where there was a very large overarching energy of persecution and you being wrong, you being totally obliterated in terms of having any value in the system, in the Western world, or in the civilization that you're assimilating into. So this can also be involved with the end of that cycle. So you're breaking through your limitations of being seen, of being heard, of being valued for your gifts, your intuition, your heart, right? You might be one of those people who has a very, very powerful heart. And those are the people who are ostracized the most in our societies, in most of the societies here on Earth. But you're needed, and there's a reason why you have that depth, because you're ending this cycle of not being seen for that, not being recognized. Now I think you also value the energy that your heart and your love, your care, your nurturing, your warmth, your attention has. You've seen the shadow side. So if you're codependent, now you know when you're giving too much. And if you are codependent and so that was the empath side. If you're codependent and you're on the narcissist side, then you know when you're taking too much, and you know that it also costs you. So both sides, empath, narcissist, it costs you both. So now that you've embraced the shadow, you can actually see when someone doesn't recognize your worth and they treat you like garbage and they throw you in the gutter and they just turn away, and you're like, oh, whoa, how could you not see my worth? That's you going, there's an issue here. Like, I am worthy, but you're in that circumstance, you're still processing it. You're still processing your worthiness. And it's just 2233 on the timestamp for all of you numerology folks there. So now, instead of being in that processing, you know. So you're stabilized in that energy. You know your worth. So now we don't need people to come in and challenge that for us, right? And also vice versa. You know, the other people that you were a catalyst for, they also know now they can't get away with the same types of things they did before, because fortunately for all of us, there's an end of a cycle there too. Wow. Right? So silver lining. And from my love deck, and I did put a lot of beautiful energy into this deck. I'm working on a remake for this one because I just feel it needs to be a little bit more. There's something I need to add to it before it really gets out into the world. Because it is a really beautiful deck. It is available if you want it in this version. It is available, but I'm going to be doing some revamping to it. But here we have Kindred Spirit Love Oracle. Oh, yes. This is all about the end of this cycle. So it says broken trust. Someone has cheated themselves out of a loving partner by breaking the bond of trust. This individual has much spiritual work to do and must choose to take responsibility for their actions. It is wise to distance yourself from such a person at this time, or understand that you broke a bond based on trust. This instability is based in fear of rejection and not knowing the self. Choose authenticity over deception and free yourself. So in your past here, those of you who experienced deception, cheating, lying, betrayal, if it was you, then you have to take responsibility for your actions, because, you know, it is a domino effect. If you cheat on someone and you break their trust, then they don't trust the next person that comes in, and so on and so forth. And then your karma is actually includes every single person down that line. So if the next person they meet, they are cruel to or cold to because they can't open their heart, part of that energy falls onto your lap in terms of karma because you created that energy cycle. And so then it's shared amongst whoever participates in it until it is closed off, until this cycle is completed and ended, right? And this benefits everyone because we are all connected. So it does benefit everyone when you do close that cycle. But it is, Spirit is saying here that yes, someone did lie. Someone did break the bond of trust. And there's no point in putting your energy, time, and attention into someone who has betrayed your trust if they are not apologetic, if they do not recognize the cost of what their actions or their words have done. And so once again, I'll just read it. Broken trust. Someone has cheated themselves, right? So if they cheated, they lost you. That's their energy. If you cheated, you lost that person's trust, right? You might be able to figure yourselves out. I don't know what's best for you, but if you cheated, you broke the bond of trust. And if someone cheated on you, they broke the bond of trust. So they cheated themselves out of a loving partnership with you. They might not have realized it at the time, right? Because cheating comes from insecurity, fear, rejection, abandonment issues. It's a power play at most times. Most often, that is what it is. So this individual has much spiritual work to do. So either yourself or this other person has more work to do. They're immature. They're, in terms of their soul evolution, this is an important part for them as well. You are a catalyst. You're both learning, but they need to evolve. They need to take responsibility for these actions. So yes, they must choose to take responsibility for their actions. That is a choice. So here we have weighing options back in that position there. Are people going to be accountable? Are people going to be responsible? So are you going to be accountable and responsible for when you cross a boundary? And or are the people around you willing to be accountable and responsible when they cross a boundary? And those boundaries can be small and they can be big. It is wise to distance yourself from such a person at this time, or understand that you broke a bond based on trust. So either way, you have to accept the time or the no that comes because you cheated, and or the other person has to accept your distance and what you need based on that person's actions. This instability is based in fear of rejection and not knowing the self, right? If we know the self, if we're confident, if we feel love, we give love, we would be able to communicate, right? You would say, I'm not interested in this relationship anymore. I want to see other people, right? Or you would communicate what your true inner feelings are. I'm afraid you're going to leave me, so I'm going to leave you first. I'm going to sabotage this whole situation because I don't have the tools and resources to actually communicate to you that I want out, or anything of that sort. I'm really uncomfortable with conflict, so I'm just going to do it this way so you have to deal with all the repercussions of my actions. Right? So there's a lot of different energies there. If you want to look into it, you'll have to look into some literature on the matter. But it does say choose authenticity over deception and free yourself. So you choose authenticity. You choose to be truthful. You cannot control other people's actions. But if someone has deceived you and lied to you, you have to listen to your heart, listen to your guides, and understand that it is very, very difficult to rebuild trust. It can be done, but that person has to choose to rebuild that, put the action into that, right? So freeing yourself might be moving away from anybody who can't take accountability for their actions and or hasn't taken accountability for their actions. And the time is now. If you need to do that, you guys do it. And so for the soul indicators, these are shadow aspect, light aspect. And so let's just see what aspect is an underlying current with this broken trust. Lazy. Woo! Nasty. So someone is just being lazy. They don't want to do the work. They're not interested in choosing to take accountability. The deceiving, cheating, lying is just an easier route for someone. They don't have to engage with improving themselves. They don't have to engage with difficult conversations. Like I said, fear of conflict. They don't have to deal with another person's emotions in terms of coming from the authentic place, right? So someone is being lazy in the situation. If it's you, then you need to consider and think about how you can show up at this time. Can you be courageous? Can you show up? You have an opportunity here to end a cycle, all right? You might have had a cycle with someone in the past where there was cheating, relying, and in this lifetime, you've come to experience a similar dynamic or aspect. And there's really a choice point here. And you'll know if you've done all you can. You'll feel that in your spirit. You'll also know if they have. You'll know if they are, kind of waffling on the contract. You'll know because it will feel like unfinished business. It will feel like there's a lack of closure. And this person's spirit will be like, come on, apologize. Come on, like get a move on, right? So spirit's working in both ways to give you peace and the other person peace, to have closure energetically in this situation. But somebody's being lazy. So that is the reading here. If you guys are watching live, I would pull a card for you, private card pull if you're interested. So I usually do that at the end of the readings. If I go really long, sometimes I don't, but most times I will pull cards for you. So if you want a card pulled for you today, just put yes please in the comments and I will pull a card from one of my decks. And I hope you guys have a really good weekend. I don't know what the weather's like for all of you guys, but I see the sunlight coming through here and I need to get my dog, my guardian, my protector out for some freshies. And enjoy. So Kathy, I'm going to pull from the Fantasy Oracle for you today. So Kathy, and this is the Fantasy Oracle here. It's a good play on balance and energies of the masculine and feminine. So Kathy, for your highest and best from your highest self today, what do you need to know? There we go. Ooh, okay. So along with this entire reading, there's some fragmented energy happening. And so a lack of grounding, maybe the mental body is feeling off kilter. So there's something off, either hormonally, or just as simply neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, maybe having a little bit of an exercise routine in the morning or something to get, I'm having a little bit of brain fog this morning as well. I did a little exercise routine because I need to do the same, but endorphins, right? That's the word I was looking for. So some endorphins, maybe just feeling a little bit lackluster the last couple days, wanting to see the best in things, but just still struggling with that a little bit. And that's totally okay. But it is saying that there is an element of your energy here that is fragmented or fractured. And, it's coming a lot from the mental mind here. Yes, that would do it. So definitely taking whatever energy you need, whether it's naps, whether it's water, whether it's Netflix binge on it for Schitt's Creek or whatnot, whatever you need to do for yourself to bring your fragmented energy back into alignment, that's your priority for today and for the next week, Kathy. Really aligning your energy. Yes. So today is the day. Whatever you need, ask your body what it needs to, ask your mind what it needs, and it will show you the way here. There might be some meditation or just lying in the sun and in your home somewhere where the sun's coming through. All right, and Stacey, Let's see. I'm going to go Galactic Goth for you. So there's the Galactic Goth Oracle. All right. So Stacey. Oh, that one like flew out. So you got the cover card, which is funny. Haha. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Kathy. So inner knowing. So Stacey, yeah, this is the one I based the entire cover deck on. Inner knowing. You really have something bubbling up. Your angels, your guides, your intuition, your psychic energies are really coming through. You probably have a lot of third eye activity happening. There's a little hint that I do with third eye activity. It's going counterclockwise. You might have an opposite here, so just test them both. But if your third eye is really active, George is like, let's go. You can go counterclockwise on your forehead and just close it a little bit. Close it, close it, close it, close it until you feel that there's a nice balance there of open and close. Because if your third eye is too open, it can be really overwhelming. Hey, bud. So this inner knowing for you is so important. And, you know, looking at this card, she's confident. She knows. And so if someone is gossiping, you know, if you have been undisciplined or not committed to something, you know, right? Like you have an idea of what needs to be done at this time to move you forward on your path in terms of your goals, not what anyone else wants of you, but for what you set out for yourself. Spirit is really checking in with you and just saying, please return to your inner knowing. And we did have the inner vision come up in the original, the general read. So it is important for you. Inner vision, inner knowing, really pay attention to your intuition, really pay attention to your heart space here. Because, you know, those who are not used to taking action from the heart, it can be terrifying, right? Because there's no guarantees. You're left very vulnerable. And so it takes a lot of courage for someone to apologize, to come in with inner knowing, to risk something on their behalf, especially if they've been a taker. I'm not saying this is you. This is just energy coming up from your read. But you'll probably know, it will relate to you in some way. But really, really be courageous at this time. It's really needed. It's really important right now for you to trust your inner knowing and move forward on that. If you overanalyze it too much, if you procrastinate too much, it will be a delay. It will be a setback for you. And Spirit's showing like smooth sailing, smooth road ahead. And so trust and just keep on moving forward one step at a time, one breath at a time, one idea at a time, one goal at a time. So that is your, I love it when that happens. Yay! So inner knowing. There you go, Stacey. And if anybody else is watching, if you want a private card pull, just put yes, please in the comments and I will do that for you. Otherwise, it is time to meditate, time to ground, time to realign, time to cry your eyes out, time to apologize, make amends, whatever it takes to reconnect with your inner child, end the cycle. You are worthy, you are seen, you are heard. You know, if you weren't appreciated in the past, general message, I put these out on my Facebook page before. I'm sorry I didn't appreciate you enough. You are amazing, right? These energies are timeless. They can be coming from anybody. So just know that there's no reason for you to doubt yourself. You're more powerful than you believe, and it's time to move forward. It's time to move past these toxic energies, these energies of fearing rejection, fearing abandonment, and being afraid to be vulnerable, afraid to come from the heart space and make decisions from the heart space. So, and your intuition, of course. So, I don't know, take care of yourselves, you guys. Like I said, the stones you can catch In the replay, if you didn't listen to the stones that I recommended at the beginning of the reading, just head back. They should be in the first 5-10 minutes. And yeah, crystals, any energies that help you ground, help you stay balanced and committed to your journey, that is really important at this time. So, and also new moon blessings. If you guys want to do a new moon ritual, then feel free. Call in what you want, call in what you're visioning for, and also connect into what you want in terms of your emotional space. Because Scorpio, water, emotions, and the depths. What do you want to bring out from the depths of your emotions? How do you want to show up in this new cycle, this new path? Okay, lots of love to you guys, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now. Ciao.